and hit this record button because I think we're talking good. We're wasting valuable content here,
This is
guys.
content, boys.
Everything is content.
Content.
Everything is content.
We're
We
a
are
content-driven channel, okay?
we are, dude. We are the worst content-driven channel on YouTube. We don't upload. There's zero content on.
It'll catch on.
Hey, shout out to all the viewers that are already here because the video's already going. Those 5 viewers.
Welcome to the Nerds Cantos. Welcome to the Nerds Cantos.
Those 5 viewers, we love you. Okay, and we're at what? How many subs right now? 200
Like 3?
something. I mean, 3 of them watch. You know,
I'll take it. I'll take it. You're all Worm fans. You're all Worm fans hoping for us to say the word Taylor and then all of us look at each other. Okay. Say that again.
Hold on, I'm pulling the Scrubblers YouTube channel up so I can accurately 228. All right, so we're close to 230.
Look at y'all. Y'all like some good slop.
And technically, our last video was a month ago. I think that's pretty solid for a podcast. Okay, I think a one podcast a month is pretty decent, if I do say so myself.
Ah, yes, a little self-glaze.
Some self-glaze, yeah. But hey, this is a new era for the Nerds Cantos. Actually, we have thumbnails now. This is the first ever. This is the first ever Nerds Cantos with branding. Because I mean we had thumbnails before. You think we've had branding before?
Dude, we don't have branding. We need a brand deal.
We have branding. The new thumbnail is branding. Okay,
we need a brand deal. Okay.
Okay, well, I don't know that we're
possibly brand deal.
I don't know, cheeky. So
who did we make fun of last time in the video game episode? Who did I shit on for like 15 minutes, dude? There was it 4 hymns? I think so, but I also think I was
hymns. I don't know.
Hymns. Dude, I was shitting on someone. You know who actually would be the perfect sponsor? Audible. Okay, if we could get an Audible sponsorship, that would literally all be, or like a comic book sponsorship, but that's impossible. Marvel and DC would never give us money. Or any YouTuber money for that matter. They don't pay those people. They just fly them out to watch Avengers trailers and make them fucking cry so it looks better than it actually is. Shout out those shitty Avengers trailers. That's not what we're here to talk about. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is a book club episode, which means
book club.
I don't know what else to call it, man. Get the fuck out. We're done. All right, it's over. We're cutting it off. The Nerds Cantos. This is it. This is the end of the Nerds Cantos. We're talking about the Game of Thrones. The book.
Yeah.
All right, not the TV show. Also, there will probably be many points in this where we call the A Song of Ice and Fire series the Game of Thrones series because Nolan and I watched the TV show first. And Stewie, this is your first time. This is your first time reading or interacting with it at all.
I mean, I watched the first episode of the TV show, but I didn't continue.
What, like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See, how do you feel, Stewie? How you feeling? Off rip. How do you feel about Game of Thrones?
Depressing book. Very grim book.
It's pretty grim.
And dark, some would say.
You could say it's grim dark.
No, I really wouldn't call it.
I don't think it is. There are people who say Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire is grimdark. I don't really think so.
Go read First Law if you
want.
Right,
or go read a Warhammer book, bro. If you want grimdark, go read a fucking Warhammer book.
Completely without hope.
No, there's hope in there. It's just you got to find it. You know, you got to dig for it.
You got to find it.
You got to look for it. Most characters, the most hopeful character in the first book, spoilers, gets his head cut off. So, like, you know, it's not great. Well, and then the other one's fighting demons. It's ice demons, to be exact. So, like, you know, nobody's having a good time in a Game of Thrones here. Again, I should mention, spoilers abound. Because, like, we're not going to sit here and do a non-spoiler review of a book that came out in 1990, I think 1990, maybe
That
maybe
had one of
1992.
the most popular TV shows
Right.
of the past 2 decades.
And a TV show that's still getting spin-offs. Shout out A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which comes out tomorrow, or the first episode comes out tomorrow. But
I need it.
yeah,
I
that
need it.
show's gonna be great. But we're not here to talk about any of that. We're here just to talk about Game of Thrones. No spoilers for the future books. So if for some reason you want to like book club with us, go read the first book, come back and watch this, and then eventually in 7 years when Stewie finishes the second book, we'll we'll hit it up there. Listen, you read pretty fast, but not as fast as Nolan and I did.
I'm on the
Listen,
last book
burnt
right
out.
now.
I'm done.
I was burnt out from a certain other book.
Frankly, I can't blame you. I do think they get better.
Oh, they definitely
Yeah,
get better.
they get
Each one
better.
just keeps getting better.
So I think that they're easier to read. They get longer, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Well, and then they eventually stop existing, unfortunately. Christ.
Yeah, I can't really
Yeah.
speak too much on that.
The last one came out in 2011, guys. Shout out. You guys want to hear a crazy statistic?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, Sui, this is new information for you. This is the only thing we'll say about the future books. Because Nolan knows this. 4 and 5, Feast for Crows and The Dance of Dragons, were supposed to be one book. But they got so long that Martin, like, cut them in two. And so book 4 has certain POVs in it. And then book 5 has certain POVs in it. I won't spoil which book has which POVs because I think that's kind of the fun part about reading those books is figuring out the like cast of characters you're going to deal with for 900 pages. But because of that, the third book came out in 1998. Or sorry, the third one came out 2000. And then the fourth one comes out 2008. So there's an 8-year gap before 4 and 5. And what that means is there hasn't been a single Game of Thrones Sansa chapter written in our entire lifetime.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And I guess you could say
Today.
other characters like Arya and other. There's certain characters that have had chapters written in our lifetime, but Sansa has not had a chapter written in our lifetime. And I think that's either we're old or we're young. I don't know. I mean, we've all become Game of Thrones fans, and there's still no new fucking book. Okay, and I just think that's
It's a little screwy.
it hurts a little bit.
Fuck you, HBO. Free my man.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the time of recording this, obviously, as I mentioned, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms comes out tomorrow, and then also yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, a big George R.R. Martin article came out where he basically spilled the tea on a lot of HBO stuff, and why he hasn't actually written the book. And some people think the book's coming out soon, and then other people think the book is never coming out. To each their own. I don't know. That's for each man to decide. I can neither convince nor persuade anybody either which way. I think it's coming out soon. Maybe I'm just coping. I don't know. That's maybe I'm praying a little too hard. By the way, we got off track immediately. Stewie, obviously, this is your first time reading Game of Thrones. You know nothing.
Jon Snow.
Shut up. So you,
I
that is,
immediately just start spoiling shit for no
that's
reason.
fine. So it is correct. We are correct in saying you know literally nothing going into this other than fantasy, medieval politics, I guess, right?
I mean, I knew people died, obviously.
Well, right, yeah, but you
Yeah,
didn't know
that was
who
like
died.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't know who.
Right. Which is important because that's kind of the whole thing about the first little book here is that the main character does not make it out of the book. I say he's the main character. I guess you could argue.
Definitely. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
he
say.
gets a substantial amount of chapters in the book. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Him and Catelyn get a lot of POVs.
They
They really do.
The Stark family, you could say the Stark family get a lot of POVs, except for Rickon, because no one wants to read about a 3-year-old. So
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like 2.
yeah,
or
I don't know.
something.
He's the most back burner Stark ever.
Maybe in 7 years, guys, when book 6 comes out, maybe then we'll get a Rickon chapter. Who knows? for now, it's just the other ones. But I will say before we do what we normally do and start talking about it. So obviously, Stewie, that's your connection to this wee little franchise here. Nolan, what about you? You know, when did you first get
Oh,
into the Game of Thrones? Do you remember? Because I have a distinct story that I like telling, and it's funny. So we'll do you first.
yeah. So my first experience with Game of Thrones is when it came out, and I had a little thing. My parents my parents would watch it. Like they watch Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, shit like that, right? And I'd
Mm-hmm.
always like sneak down to watch it with them. They never knew, and when they caught me, they'd always be really mad. Um, and I really liked watching Game of Thrones. Many reasons.
Yeah.
There's tits in it. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
There's also a
Indeed.
lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
dick in
spot
the
on.
show as well, actually. So it swings both
We
ways.
weren't there yet. We
Yeah.
weren't there yet. But I really watched it I started watching it early high school. I'd say like maybe like 8th grade I started watching it. Yeah, I'd say like 8th grade I picked it up and started watching it. And I caught up on it, and then like from there I kept watching. I loved it. I thought it was crazy, but I really didn't understand a lot of what was going
Envy.
on due to me being a child.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Ooh, blood, boobs, blood, 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 boob." That sort of numbskull uh
There's no nuance
approach.
to it. You're watching when you're a child and you watch something like Game of Thrones or something that, well, especially Game of Thrones because it is made for adults. It's like you just said, Nolan. It's like, okay, there's blood. Like you get it when it's like, oh, Ned Stark is fighting Jaime Lannister. Okay, like that makes sense to you. And then they're like, then you get to like a Tyrion part in the show, and it's just 30 minutes of yapping, which is awesome as an adult, but as a fucking 12-year-old, you're like, oh. And then Tyrion says like cock, and you're like, oh, Tyrion's a funny guy. He said dick and balls. No, shout out by the way. I remember coming over to your house one time, Nolan, and your mom and dad were watching Game of Thrones, and I watched Bran get shunted out of a window. I don't know why they were rewatching the first episode because that was the first episode.
I don't know.
But I distinctly remember
like a 10-year-old.
maybe it was like a recap or something. It could have been a recap, but I distinctly remember as we were walking outside one time, I just see push, and I was like, "Oh damn, that little boy just got shoved out a window. That's crazy." No, but I think I started watching Game of Thrones around the same time as you because I know like me and you got into it at the same time. I feel like, but I remember in 6th grade, there's this cool ass 8th grader. You know how it is when you're young, when you're like, wow, this guy's like 2 years older than you, but he's like, the jump from 6th grade to 8th grade where they're like 10 times bigger than you, so they like seem older, even though they're not that much older. I thought this guy was the coolest guy ever. He rode the bus with me, and when he was in 8th grade, I was in 6th grade. He was reading Game of Thrones, and I remember I was an avid reader as a child, so I was like, dude, what are you reading? And the one thing he said, he was like, yeah, you can't be reading this in 6th grade. And I was like, we'll find. And so I spent like a week getting the name out. He was on the 3rd book, but spent like a week just getting the Game of Thrones name. And then it was in like towards the end of 7th grade, the start of 8th grade, I finally convinced my mom to let me read it because like my parents were not watching the show at the time, but they knew it was violent and stuff. But I was like, but it's a book. It can't be that violent. That was my like convincing, like it's reading. And so I remember going into 8th grade, I was reading Game of Thrones, which this is after I already read Dark Tower. So truly honest, I didn't know what was happening, but really nothing new for me. I was just like, I'm like, oh, they're having sex. Okay, like yeah, I know what that is. But I remember reading it and going into like the 8th grade, like where you show up to the school to get your like classes and your schedule or whatever and meet your teachers like a week before school starts. And I remember I didn't like talking to any of the teachers because I'm an introvert. So I was like, I don't want to do this. So my mom was like talking to the teachers for me. My mom goes up to the English teacher I had in 8th grade. And she's like, yeah, my son loves reading. And the teacher was like, oh, that's awesome. What book is he reading right now? My mom was like, oh, he's reading Game of Thrones. And I remember my 8th grade English teacher was like, what? he can't be reading that. And I was just like, nah, man, those books rock, dude. No idea what's happening in them. But then I only read up to book 3 because I tried to read book 4 as a kid, and it was about the characters that as a child, I did not want to read about, and I was like, yeah, fuck this bullshit, dude. So
That's crazy.
Then I started watching the TV show instead, because I was like, oh, why would I read? I'll just watch the show. Listen, as a kid, I didn't, I don't know.
Book 4 POVs are peak.
Book 4 I do love book 4. I also did. I tried to read a chapter out of book 5. And it was also about a character I didn't want to read about, and so I also didn't do. I also gave up on that. Which is that's my Game of Thrones story.
I've got a funny story. It is short. And I'll say his French class name, Xander.
Okay.
So you'll know.
Shout out.
Gustav.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Remember our homie
I
Gustav?
remember Gustav. Just about said his real name there. I remember Gustav. Yeah.
Gustav was reading Clash of Kings in our 8th grade math class.
Shout out, dude. Me and him, we alike. Okay, we alike apparently. I'm not one of those guys who's like kids shouldn't interact with violent things because like our childhood would have been very boring. So like that's cool. Halo, thumbs up from me. Call of Duty, thumbs up from me. I do think Game of Thrones should be kept from kids, not because it's violent, but because they won't appreciate it. Yeah, that's my thing. Because unfortunately, going into this reread / like real read, and Nolan, I think you had the same experience. Oh, dude, transcendent. Actually, like, what am I saying? Let's talk about a book.
Know.
Let's talk
what
about.
Are you saying,
I'm saying. Wait until you're older. That's the defining message of this Nerds Cantos, everybody. Okay, wait until marriage.
Wait until you have a home.
Yeah, wait until you're married.
You need a wife and kids. All right, you need a wife and kids.
You need a wife and kids to truly understand Catelyn Stark. Okay, to truly get in the mind of Catelyn Stark, not only do you need a wife and kid, your husband has to go to war and then come back with a bastard child. If you really want to understand the Catelyn Stark mindset, okay. Shout out, I love Catelyn Stark. All right, Catelyn is awesome. She does despise Jon Snow, and that hurts a little bit because I also love Jon Snow. But hey, he is a bastard, so maybe he deserves it. I don't know. That's up to you.
Whoa,
That's up to the viewer. That's up to the viewer if they side with Catelyn or Jon. Okay. Or instead, neither, and they're more of like a Daenerys person or something. I don't know. Lame people is what I'm saying. I don't like book 1 Daenerys. Let's come out swinging. Yeah. Let's come out swinging. Yeah. Okay. I don't think we should do like a recap. I think that's a little absurd. This is like a 900-page book. You know what I mean? I think that's a little.
No, I mean, I feel like if you don't know what we're talking about, you should probably just not be here.
Right.
Because you're going to spoil it immediately. Xander's already spoiled the biggest twist in the book. He spoiled it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it. Daenerys has dragons. Oh, that's so crazy, dude. Everyone and their mom knows that. That's like
that's like a given. I knew that was gonna happen as soon as she got the eggs.
I mean, she gets the eggs.
This could be decorative the entire series.
That would be a very different book series if there was no dragons.
Imagine, bro.
Yeah. I don't know that the TV show would have been as popular because I remember that the marketing for that TV show was all about dragons. So that was it. Dragons were fucking everywhere. I remember going to Hot Topic. Dates us, I guess. I don't think kids go to Hot Topic anymore, but maybe they do. Going to Hot Topic and they just had that rack of Game of Thrones shirts. And
oh my god!
It was
dude.
it was the house sigils, and then they're like winter is coming or fire and blood.
Just the Stark head.
Well, yeah, the Stark head. I always wanted to get one, but I never did.
Do you remember my Night's Watch Oath jacket in 9th grade?
Dude, I do remember that.
My fucking science teacher watched Game of Thrones, and he'd always be like, "Oh my god, is that Game of Thrones? Did you see the new episode?" And I was like, "I did." And then I remember sophomore year, I think, is when the last season was.
I think so
It was
because
a long time ago
I
now.
think I was a junior. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember me, my biology teacher, and my ninth grade teacher all coming together and going, "That shit was fucking ass."
I did a similar thing, but with season 7, which would I guess would have been my sophomore year. I distinctly remember. I remember talking about it with a couple people in my class, and then one of the teachers, I think it was my English teacher, came over and was like, "You guys watch Game of Thrones?" We were all like, "You watch Game of Thrones?" And we talked about Game of Thrones because everyone talked about Game of Thrones back in the day. I think it's a miracle, Stewie, that not only did you not watch it, but you don't know anything about it outside of like dragons and that people die a lot, which
Yeah,
I think
man,
is
was
over
too wrapped up
exaggerated.
in
I
Star
don't.
Wars.
Yeah, I don't think that many people die. By the way, I think that's an over
Yeah.
exaggeration. Just some really important people die occasionally, and that's sort of, like Ned Stark. Everybody, shout out Joffrey.
don't shut up.
And the best
do
king
that.
of Westeros, everybody,
Don't do that.
Joffrey Baratheon, everybody. Shout out. No, fucking Joffrey sucks, dude. Joffrey's a piece of shit. Okay, I think everyone
Incest,
agrees.
fucking pussy ass, fucking
He is an incest baby.
an abomination.
That's true.
Is Stannis in the first book at all?
He's mentioned a lot. I've not met him.
No, I think
Interesting.
the most.
It's just a lot of blundering about how people are like, "Oh, he's declared himself king. Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
be
More, but
marching to
it's gonna
King's
be
Landing
yeah,
soon."
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
Book
and
two
then
stuff. Book two stuff.
I think other than that, I think the only thing Stannis does in book 1, Ned sends him that letter when Ned finds out that Joffrey is an incest baby. He's like,
is the one who-
Stannis, I need your help. And then so you learn Stannis' reaction to said letter in later
Yeah,
books.
he sends it out. He sends out. No, I think he sent some stuff to Nightwatch. Or maybe that was Ned's living. I could be misremembering.
Yeah, I think that's Ned's stuff. Either way, Stannis is a big player in book 2. There's some Renly in book 1. He doesn't really do anything. He's just kind of on the council. Renly Baratheon, that is.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah,
And then he leaves. Like right when everyone needs him, Ned's like, "Okay, Renly, I might need your help." And then Renly's like, "Let's take over the throne ourselves." And then he goes, I'm not gonna initiate a coup, dude. And Renly goes, "All right, fine, fucker," and then just leaves. And you're like, "Oh, okay,
Fine, I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself."
All the way over here.
Well, he's doing things. He's got plans. Hell
Jesus.
yeah, hell yeah.
Let me put that away.
She said, "Oops." But yeah, I remember when we talked about this episode, I said we should rank sort of the POVs, the plot lines,
Oh yeah, you're
So,
asking a lot for me to remember these.
So I've got a list here. So
All right,
we've
no one
got.
force you to read the next 3 books, man.
Oh yeah, no, dude. Nolan finished this book in record time for Nolan, and he goes, "I gotta read the next one." And I was like, "Well, Stewie hasn't finished yet." And he was like, "I gotta read the next one." I know I was already on book 3 when he was saying that, so like I'm not really one to speak, but like I was going.
Yeah, but you took notes.
Oh, I do have. I have them pulled up. I have extensive. Let's actually see. Let us learn how. Oh my god!
Do you just want to start with Daenerys? Because you already brought her
We
up.
can start with Daenerys. I was just gonna say I have a 21,000 word 21,000
That
words
sounds
on this Google Doc. I mean to say, so that's a little absurd. But yeah, we can start with Daenerys because she is of all the plot lines completely alone. There is not a single other POV on Essos.
Yeah, she's pretty disconnected, yeah.
And she spends about 90% of this book being, some would say, raped. I don't know. I think it's.
I would say rape.
Yeah.
I would say rape.
I don't know. I never watching the show. The show explicitly makes it rape, which is really awkward because you have to watch it. And then in the book, it's definitely a little odd, but she also seems to like be totally okay with it after the first time. So I don't know if
Well,
it's like
it
a
starts
Stockholm,
as rape. Your
right?
brother makes you fuck this guy so he can get an army. That's
Yeah.
rape. That's
She's
like actually
also
child trafficking.
Well, it is child trafficking because
Actually,
she is 14.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. She's also much
Or
younger, so like
15. Yeah, in the show
could
she's
be
a
a
little.
Stockholm thing going on. That's what
Yeah.
I thought was happening.
I
But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, it
I
could be
don't
a
think you
Stockholm
are.
thing, but I also don't know because she keeps up with it in the further books that she like loved Khal Drogo. So like,
Well, I mean, in my opinion, all of that removed, I think Daenerys a little. I talked to you about this thing. I think she's a little drinking her own Kool-Aid. I think she's a little hopped up on Viserys and his fucked up mentality and
yeah,
to her.
Yes,
I think drinking her own
100
yeah,
million
I think drinking her
percent.
own Kool-Aid is a good way to say. It's a good way to describe Book One Daenerys. Because she's gonna give birth to the stallion that mounts the world, guys. I mean, come on. She eats a horse
And we
heart.
came out a fucking
A demon?
dragon hybrid baby or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, she gives birth
Like
to
scales
a
and shit.
stillborn demon baby.
And there, I mean, that could be with the weird fucking magic that happened. I don't even know if that was real or not. I don't know. She was
No,
hallucinating
it's
that
real.
Oh yeah, that
It
happened.
is the magic. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty much confirmed. Daenerys, she gives the life of her baby for Khal Drogo, which obviously doesn't work.
Because they went in and
Well,
they were
because
like,
they
"Don't
go
come
in,
in."
they go in, but
They go in
also
and fuck it up.
the witch lady also despises them, so she wasn't gonna do
Yeah.
it for real anyways. I don't think I think Khal Drogo was no matter what would have come back as nothing more than a vegetable. I think is really the only way to put that. Like he is catatonic completely. Daenerys kills him, so it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
lights him on fire.
Well, yeah.
Good riddance.
Um,
Good riddance.
but no, her baby, little demon.
If his fucking name was Drogo or something, I think.
I mean, she gives it a name. I
I
don't.
think she named it after like a
Let's pull the
conqueror or
notes out. Let's pull the notes out. Okay.
I'm reasonably sure it was Drogo, or at least something with a D.
Might have been Drogon.
Well, the Drogon is.
Sure.
I might not have written down the name of the baby, but she does. One of the black dragon is named Drogon, so she might have named that dragon after the dead child. I don't remember. And like I said, I didn't write that down. But she
I don't
gets
think
3
it was-
dragons.
She names them in the book. She just has them.
Oh well, she named
Could
the
be.
second one. My bad, but she
Yeah.
has 3 dragons, and that's the coolest part of the Daenerys plotline is the fact that she's got 3 dragons, and dragons are extinct.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, that was cool. I mean, aside from that, I didn't really care for Daenerys. I mean, I already told my opinion on her. I think she's kind of crazy.
Her cast of characters is, in this book, very boring compared to everyone on Westeros. All right, we're stuck with Khal Drogo, who is so uninteresting as far as I'm concerned. I do not give a rat's.
He's just a meathead.
Yeah, it's just. I don't even. I'm like, he's just boring. He's just like a barbarian Conan guy, but he doesn't
All
have.
of them are just barbarians.
Yeah, they're all
just
Literally their
barbarian
entire
people.
I mean,
character.
I think the why did I forget their name? I want to call them the Blood Riders. The Dothraki. Like I liked I really liked the chapter where Viserys gets his crown of gold, and you get a lot of
Shout
like
out.
the culture of them. Like during that feast, like you learn a lot about their culture. So that's cool. But that's like one of the only good chapters. So
No, I was gonna say I do like Viserys or Viserys. I think you can say it however you want, but I actually he's a terrible person and he's an antagonist, obviously, but I think he is interesting.
Yeah, I kind of wish he lived a little bit longer to
I
be more of an
agree.
antagonist. I mean,
there's no way in hell he was gonna
I
die
was
one
gonna say,
way
he
or
wasn't
another.
he was not making
Someone
it
was gonna
past-
kill him.
Yeah.
It makes sense that he dies. I'm not saying he shouldn't say it. I do wish he grew into be a bigger antagonist.
I would have
But,
liked to see Daenerys's dragons eat him. I think that would. I don't think that makes any sense because they're little baby dragons, but it would have been fun.
I mean, they're still dragons. So I'm sure
Right.
it'll
Yeah, I
be
think
like
they
a
would
month,
maul
and
him.
they'll be like the
Well, they
size of a
would.
dog.
Because
Correct.
he is not weak to, or he's not immune to fire, I should say. Because he gets his head.
Yeah, like how
melted a lot.
Daenerys is apparently.
Well, Raki in particular are very so one note. There's like, I mean, I do think
The
the
whole
culture's
country.
interesting, but it's like they're so nothing. And then it's doing the future books. You'll see the rest of Essos is just slavers. It's
Yeah, I
all
imagine.
just slavery.
my God.
They mentioned the book that the Dothraki are like, they're like the people the slavers hire.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
their-
Yeah, it's a little absurd on Essos, but the only other character there, other than Neri the Witch and a couple of the handmaidens, but none of them are really that important, is
Yeah.
Jorah Mormont. He's important.
Yeah, Jorah is he's
I
a guy.
don't like Jorah.
Yeah,
He's a
he,
little- He's a
Yeah,
little
I'm not a fan.
strange, I think.
He's a bit of a
no,
strange-
he's a weirdo.
he's a bit of
He is a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
Is he? I don't know.
He's a little. I get bad vibes from Jorah Mormont in book 1. It's all like I don't like his vibes.
That's fair. I
He
do
doesn't
think
do
it's
a
a
lot.
little weird how quickly he acclimated to the situation. I'll say that.
Yeah. Listen, he's been on Essos a long time. He saw the dragon lady and he was like, all right, this is what I'm
Hot.
doing now. Yeah, well, he was like, I'm attracted to this 14-year-old. I'm going to follow her around now. And it's like, okay, buddy. Kind of got to get over the fact that all these characters are children. I do think that's
Dude,
the
that's
one
another
thing.
thing
You have
different
to,
from the show. Ugh.
yeah, they're all kids.
Yeah,
They're
like,
all
not.
degrees younger.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I went through like half the entire book actually thinking Sansa was like John's age. She's like 11 in the
Yeah.
appendix. I don't know how I missed that.
She a youngin. She's like
It's
11.
a lot different in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, they're all a little
in their
older.
20s in the show. I think Arya's the only kid still, right? Arya and
San-
Bronn.
Yeah, but still, she's not like 9.
Yeah,
Sansa in the
So
show
she
is like
becomes of age eventually.
Arya does in the show by the time it ends. Sansa's like 15 in the show. Arya's like 13. Bran's supposed to be like 11 or 12. And then Rickon is still.
Rickon's like 8.
He's actually yeah, he's like 8 or 6 or something. And then Jon and Robb are like 20. And same
Yeah,
with
they're like
Daenerys,
men.
where it's like they are like still very young, but they are definitely
Oh yeah, Daenerys is like
Older.
a yeah.
And
I know
Theon
Daenerys
is the
is
same
definitely
age as
older
them
because
in the show.
Emilia Clarke plays her.
Shout out. Then I actually most of the casting in the show is really well done. They're all very good actors over there. The show might turn into dog shit, but it does start as peak. So like a lot of the I only see Emilia Clarke actually. When I know Daenerys is 14, it doesn't slot into my brain. Okay.
Yeah. I just see the
I
TV
see
show.
all of them, except for a lot of the Stark kids, because in the show they all have black hair, and in the book they all, except for
Jon, I think,
Arya
right?
and Jon. Yeah, Arya has.
Oh, yeah,
black hair,
Arya.
but everyone else has red hair. Like Robb and Bran and Rickon all have like super red hair, which doesn't matter that much, but they look more like their mom than they do look like Ned, which is like kind of the point, because Jon looks a lot like Ned. And he's like the only one who does. Shout out Jon Snow and Ned Stark. Wish they had more scenes together, but unfortunately it's not in the cards. But yeah, so Daenerys, do we say that's the weakest plot line? Do we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all agree. I think that is a wide agreement there. Who do we want to start? Who do we want to go next?
I think we should go Sansa and Arya, because they kind
Okay.
of theirs are kind of similar with like the King's Landing stuff. But one of them is infinitely better than the other.
All right, so we want to go. Sansa only has like what, 4 or 5 chapters in this book. She does not have a lot.
Not a lot.
And every Sansa chapter no offense, Sansa, but every Sansa chapter can really be summed up as how do I cause problems for Arya and Ned today? Is really all she does in this book. Mainly her father. Mainly she causes
Facts.
problems for Ned Stark. Is Sansa everyone's least favorite Stark child in this book? Is that
In
this one?
actually in all of them.
In general, bro,
Oh,
bro.
Well,
fucks,
no,
bro fucks
second,
with
second,
Rickon.
second.
Bro
I
fucks
forgot
with
about
Rickon
Rickon.
more than he.
No,
Okay.
Rickon's the worst. Rickon's the worst just because there's not, anything
He's a
with Rickon.
4-year-old. Yeah, it's because he's 4.
Not a
and-
lot you can do with Rickon.
Yeah, I see. I like future Sansa a lot, but book 1.
Oh yeah, she's a lot better.
Book 1 Sansa. It's tough.
Annoying little
It's
bitch, bro.
very
Fair.
tough.
Now, okay, let me say it. I was when I was reading the book, I was telling you guys that I really didn't like Sansa chapter, but like I said earlier, I was under the impression she was John's age. Did not know she was 11.
No, I think.
So I feel a little bit more sympathy knowing that.
Oh,
Still,
I think everything she does is 100% valid from her perspective. I just think reading Game of Thrones, as the 2 times I've read Game of Thrones, one, reading Game of Thrones is as someone Sansa's age but a boy, and then reading it as an adult, wholly uninterested in what the pompous 11-year-old girl really wants, especially when you get Ned's perspective and he's like, all right, there's incest babies, people are getting assassinated, the last guy who held this position
that
was
is
poisoned.
genuinely losing his mind.
Yeah,
half
he's like, on top of all of that, we're broke, I don't want to be here, someone tried to kill my son, I have to get out of here. And then Sansa's like, but Dad, I want to marry the king or the prince.
Joffrey! I love Joffrey! He's such a wonderful lad. I love Joffrey. Fucking
I've
bitch.
completely blocked out the fact that he nearly murdered my sister. Like,
That was crazy. That one I cannot defend. That's insane.
No,
that
the
she
most
was
I
like-
can say to that, and this is the thing that is, this is canon confirmed by George R. R. Martin, and then a lot of the fans talk about this, is Sansa. I mean, this goes for the case. I think Martin is very good at writing POVs where characters don't know information they shouldn't know, and they all act and are written a little differently, which I think is really well done. But Sansa in particular, again, canon from Martin, has like selective memory, like as a on purpose writing choice. So like it's sort of debated whether or not she actually does remember Joffrey being a piece of shit, or if she's just like completely blocking it out because she wants her life to be like
they
like a
kind of
story.
imply that during
Right.
where they bring her before the king and they
Yeah,
talk about it.
dude, shove her in front of fat Robert Baratheon, and he's like, "Oh, what did my son do to you?" And she's just bawling her eyes out. And it's like, this is a shout out Ned in that moment, being like, "Dude, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man."
Yeah.
Every scene, every POV from Ned as soon as Robert shows up is, "How do I get away from these people, man?" But no, do we? I mean, there's not much else to say about Sansa other than she does betray her father at the end, which is not on purpose. She doesn't know what she's doing, but
Yeah.
she does get
Yeah,
all
I mean,
of her
it's
men
not like
killed.
Rob and Cat really believe her there. Pretty sure Cat immediately susses it out like instantly.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh yeah, with the letter and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about where she goes to Cersei or whatever, and then tells Cersei that Ned is gonna ship her and Arya away, and then that's when Cersei kills all of Ned's men and then takes him prisoner.
Right.
Yeah.
She does do that.
Shout out the Game of Thrones, the politics involved here. It's pretty deep stuff. But where do we put Sansa here? Where do we think
Second worst.
second worst?
Second
You think about? I actually have a little tier list up here. So do we think? I won't share the screen because I think that's needless here. I've currently put Daenerys in C. Do we think that's?
I think Sansa and her are both the same.
Sansa, Daenerys in C. I think that's
Yeah.
valid.
Are we going to S or are we stopping at A?
It's so there's S, A, B, C, D, and F. I don't think anything's a D and an F. I think it's all still well written enough that it like, at the very least, can be a C. But yeah, we can go to S. If we all, Stewie, we as your first time read? Okay, so Sons of Daenerys will be a C. I think Nolan, you said we should hit Arya.
Oh, no, so
Unless...
yeah. I mean, if we're doing the tier list, yeah, let's do Arya.
Yeah, we can hit Arya. Okay. What do we think about Arya in book 1, gentlemen?
I like when she gets into King's Landing and meets Syrio.
Oh, dude, Syrio
Woo!
Farrell,
Yes,
dude.
yes, and all the flea bottom shit. Yes,
Yeah,
love it.
The one chapter where she's hunting pigeons and then watches her dad get his head cut off. Let's go.
Yes, I said it's the one chapter she was in there.
It's a great chapter. Arya.
It's good.
I think Arya is one of the best characters in the whole series. Arya is one of the goats.
Good shit.
And I mean, Sui is your first time. What do you think about how you feel about Arya in book 1 here?
Arya.
I mean, I think she's neat. I did like her POVs. I'm curious about the fucking shadow people she sees in Kane's Landing. That was
She was just
interesting.
seeing some hidden folks.
Yeah, the moving faces in the walls. Yeah, okay.
There's some magic involved, but none of that matters. All right,
We'll tell you when you're older.
That's King's Landing problems. All right, Arya ain't in no King's Landing anymore. Well, I think she technically is by the end of the book, but she's on the way out.
Yeah, she gets out. I'm pretty sure she's on her way out.
Yeah, she's with
because the
Yoren.
Yoren finds her. Yeah, it took me a second.
Dude, Yoren, one of the goats, dude. One of the Night's Watch. I like Yoren a lot. Yeah, he's
Forgot about Yoren.
Keeps calling her a boy, and it's like, all right, stop. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because she was about to rush the executioner of her sword, bro.
Dude, I know. No, she's got Needle. She could
him with the pointy end.
she could pull it off, kill Sir Ilan Payne, take him down, fight the Kingsguard. Would have been really bad. Shout out Syrio Farrell fighting. Is it a Kingsguard? I think he fights a member of the Kingsguard.
Several.
Well, yeah, I know he fights several guards, but
no, actually, I think it might have just been like regular Lannister.
Yeah, it could. It potentially is.
I don't think it was the Kingsguard themselves.
Either way, he fights a bunch of people with a wooden sword. Oh yeah, okay. Per notes, he fights Sir Meryn Trant of the Kingsguard, as well as five gold cloaks and a single Kingsguard member, and then he just kicks their fucking ass. Because water dancing is awesome. Okay, hunting cats, doing bullshit. No, I really like Arya. She does some other stuff too, pre-King's Landing. Obviously, she watches her friend get murdered.
Yeah, she watches her friend get murdered.
By the Hound.
She doesn't see her dog getting, but it gets murdered regardless.
Well, Sansa's dog gets killed, and then
she set her dog free.
Yeah, she hits it with rocks until it runs away, which is kind of depressing. Very depressing. Yeah. There's something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and then she beats the shit out of Joffrey. That's the other thing she does.
She nearly knocks him to the river. She knocks his sword to the river.
Dude, I wish she drowned that stupid boy. Dude, I wish she killed his.
Would have saved a lot of problems.
Yeah, the realm would have been a much better place.
They might have put her down, but honestly, maybe a worthwhile trade. Like, dude, fucking crazy work, that Joffrey Baratheon. Feels wrong.
Literally anybody else's king would be better.
Oh, except his dad, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm sure Robert's better, but Robert is not good at the job. Robert is very fucking bad at being.
I mean, when your wife is Cersei Lannister, I think.
Dude, a terrible combo. No, I think that's mainly it in terms of Arya. She's really just kind of on the road with Ned, and then in King's Landing, she's learning how to water dance.
Water dance, yeah.
And then she watches her dad.
Because she begs Ned. She's like, I want to learn how to fight. And Ned's like,
Ned's like, oh, dude, please leave me alone. No, but honestly, he kind of thinks it's a good idea because he's like, all right, I don't trust this place at all. He's like, I really don't. I don't like this place. Well, then he finds Needle, doesn't he? He has the scene where he finds Needle, and she's like, I know what you stick him with the pointy head. And Ned is just like, oh my god, dude. It's like we're really doing this one. Very interesting. But yeah, I like Arya a lot. She does kill a guy also. That's the other thing. She kills a little stable boy.
Stable boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She fucking shanks him because he was like, I could get you money from
I can get a
turning
ton
you
of money for
in.
you, Shank. And then she's like, well, she has a little PTSD from it, but you know what? It was self-defense. So where are we putting Arya, gentlemen? B, A, or S? Where do we think?
I think she's an A for me.
I would say B, but if you want to put her in A, it's
I'm
fine.
gonna slap her an A because I enjoy Arya quite a bit. Going on the
Big
list
fan.
I have here, Bran is next in line if we want to hit the youngest POV. How we feel about
Yeah,
Bran?
Yeah.
How we feel about Bran?
I don't like brands as much as
Whoa,
Arya.
dude.
I don't. I like Bran. I like him a lot. I love his, climbing in the rooftops and
Yeah, the
all
one
sorts of
chapter.
Yeah, the one chapter he does that for fucking Jamie Lannister throws him from like a fucking
Yeah,
Oh, the
12
things I
story
do for
tower.
love.
yeah,
Push.
like that was fun.
It's a good chapter. Bran is pretty well written. He shouldn't be up there. He's 7. He needs to go have other hobbies than climbing like 100-foot towers, or they're not that big, but it's fucking pretty tall tower. I think that's the first Bran chapter. Or no, sorry. The first Bran chapter is the opener of the book when they find the dire wolves, and Ned cuts a guy's head off. For
Yeah, you'll have
well,
that. And
he
then
cuts a
fucking Theon cutting fucking kicks the poor guy's
yeah.
head.
Well, Theon. Well, we could talk about Theon, I guess.
I have some things to say
Um,
about Theon.
Well, because he is the most in the Bran chapters, but obviously the guy that Ned kills at the beginning is from the prologue, the one survivor, which I guess we did not speak about the prologue. I really love the Sir Waymar Royce prologue in the Night's Watch where they fight literal
Bro
zombies.
thought he was Buddy thought he
Nah,
was
but dude, he's like he hits the for King Robert, and then runs at the others, the whites. The show calls them White Walkers, which I think the book occasionally. I think the book calls them that like
Eventually.
once. Yeah, but for the most part, they are called Others or Whites, which is a much more interesting name. Actually, I think that's a scarier.
I thought the whites were like a separate.
Well, so
The whites are just like the Well,
yeah, the
Yeah.
Others are the what the show called. Well, the show calls all of them White Walkers. The Others are the like important ones, and then the whites are the like basic I'm gonna run at you and eat your flesh
zombies.
yes.
Yeah.
And so for King Robert, Mr. Waymar Royce, as he fucking charges at all of these zombies and then dies because it's bad over here at the Night's Watch. All right, that's the most important lesson you can learn from
Terrible
the prologue.
job.
It is bad at the Night's Watch.
It's tough there, bro. They got everyone's an enemy. They got too many enemies
Surrounded
over there.
by criminals. One of the trainers is just the worst, like the most assholey person you could ever be, bro.
Yeah,
Constantly putting down literally every other person around him.
it's pretty fucking bad.
I think the only 2 good people in the Night's Watch that are senior members is the commander and Aemon. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, Aemond, and the old bear, Mormont, father of
And
obviously.
maybe Benjen too, but he's gone. But he's gone.
Benjen is off doing things, man. All right, Benjen.
I know. I think Benjen's long gone. I don't think he's off doing anything. It's kind of
He's fine. He's totally fine. He's okay. Yeah.
All we can say
yeah,
is
sure.
who knows. But no, okay, we got off track. Bran, all right. So obviously, Bran likes climbing. He wants to be a knight. He wants to be a member of the Kingsguard when he grows up. That's nice. That doesn't happen, obviously, because he gets thrown out of a fucking building and then breaks his back. But that's okay, because then he starts having weird nightmares about flying. and opening his third eyeball.
What's that all about?
You gotta read
I mean,
and find out. Unless you have ideas,
there's a talking raven.
The three-eyed raven, yeah.
Yeah, three-eyed raven, and I just want to say that raven in the old Bears commander tower. You'd be saying things. You'd be saying a lot of suspicious things. If you say a lot of suspicious things at convenient times.
Hold on to that. Keep that in the back of your little mind there. But yeah, other than that, mostly Bran is just sort of chilling at
I mean, you just like
Winterfell.
Yeah, he's just kind of there to be a POV for Rob's stuff for the most part.
Yeah,
and,
well, and then also
lamenting
he has wolf
the
dreams.
situation.
Although technically all of them have wolf dreams if you pay attention hard enough. Or they all talk about it at least. But Bran in particular is having wolf dreams. But mostly that comes up later, so there's not much to say about that right now. Except for Stu, you have something you want to say about Theon, and for now he is a Bran POV character. So what do you got to say?
Yeah, there's something wrong with
Theon?
that guy, man.
There's something
wrong
off
with
Theon
Theon
Greyjoy,
There's something real off about that.
No.
Okay, aside from
dude,
my introduction
fine.
where he kicks a detached head from a man, he's like, I don't know, he's just constantly like jabbing. Like he does it in kind of like a jokey way. He's just kind of like constantly fucking with people.
He's a bit
it rubs
of a
me the
prick.
wrong way.
He is a bit of a prick. He's also,
I mean, I guess he's kind of friends with Rob, but he's also not really.
Nah, him and Rob, they homies. Okay, they homies like that. Not him and John, though. Theon doesn't give a fuck about the rest of them. He only likes Rob. Okay.
No, he hates John. I remember that. He calls John like a bastard every time he talks to him, I'm pretty sure.
Listen, Theon, he's technically a hostage. All right.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
So, yeah, he's technically a hostage, and he does not want to be there. They'll dive into that more later. So I guess me and Nolan can't really speak on the Theon intricacies. All I can say is Theon is one of my favorite characters throughout all of the books. Actually,
that's interesting.
I adore the stuff that Theon does, both the good and the bad.
Listen, you like a lot of auspicious and dislikable characters.
Listen, that's the best part about Game of Thrones is there's some guys in here that are just detestable. Okay. Like Jaime Lannister, also one of my favorite characters. And I mean, Stu, you're a book one reader, so I don't even think you could fathom. He does nothing good in this book.
No, he does not.
No, he is a piece of shit. He throws a 7-year-old out of a building while fucking his sister. I'm sure he goes back and finishes the job as well. Knowing Jaime, I'm sure he continues to fuck his sister after throwing the 7-year-old out of the building. And then he stabs Ned, right? Or does Ned?
A
horse
falls
off.
His horse. He kills his horse.
Yes. Sorry, in the show, Ned gets stabbed. He does kill a bunch of Ned's men though, which is
he does do that as well.
Yeah,
with the gold cloaks.
And then also he technically, obviously we.
I think it was just regular Lannister.
It might have just been Lannister guys, but they're all the same. It's like the whole
point.
Yeah, they all basically they all work for the Lannisters. Also, he killed the Mad King, which is like the only other thing you really learn about Jaime in book 1, I think. So that's interesting. I think we could talk about background lore later, but what are we thinking about Bran, gentlemen? Where do we think Bran ranks on the?
It's like a B for me.
I can live with a B. He doesn't really do a whole lot except to, like I said, he provides a POV for what Rob is doing, and he also thinks about how shitty the entire situation is rapidly becoming.
Yeah. I
do like how we get a little bit of lore though when he meets the wildling lady, Otto. I think that's what you Osha. Oh yeah, Othos. I think.
Osha's pretty chill. I like Osha.
Apparently giants exist according to her, so that's a thing.
Beyond the wall's reach. Okay, there's giants and ice
and the
demons.
children of the forest. That too.
Elves, yeah. I call them elves. They're
I don't
very
know.
they're the
I was supposed to say, I
equivalent.
don't think they're elves. They were called like tiny, aren't they?
Well, they're tiny and they're like tree people, but in my mind, they're the Game of Thrones elf equivalent. Okay, because
I mean, fair enough. I
they're
guess
long
they
living and they
do
have
elf
magic.
things. I
Yeah,
guess.
they don't exist anymore though. They're all fucking dead, so that's cool. Or extinct. But either way, they're gone.
Yeah, they got bodied by two different types of humanity. Kind
The
of rough.
Andals and the fucking
First men.
the first men. Yeah, King of the Andals and the Royce and the titles. I love the titles. There's some fun. There's great nicknames in this, and then there's great. Daenerys will do it later, and I remember it was a big meme back when the show was coming out. But Daenerys has like 30 fucking titles.
I mean, she already has like a few. She is Daenerys Stormborn.
Yeah.
The whole thing. She says at the end.
It's a pain in the ass. But moving on, I think we hit two POVs that, for the most part, are pretty connected for a good middle of the book, and that's Tyrion and then Catelyn. So obviously we'll start with Tyrion Lannister, and then we can go to Catelyn after. But what are the thoughts on Tyrion Lannister, book 1?
Love him.
Poor fucker.
That's the best way to describe Tyrion in general. Yeah, it's
I don't think Tyrion has a good time like the entire time. I think like ever since he leaves the North, it's just downhill rapidly.
Him and Jon become friends, and then everything else is downhill. That is it. The last time he has fun is when he pisses off the wall. And him and Jon have that talk where he said, what does Tyrion say? Where he's like dwarves are, like all dwarves are bastards, but not all bastards are dwarves. And then they're like, all right, we're homies. And then he's gone. And then he leaves, and life sucks. Because he gets kidnapped by Catelyn Stark.
Gets kidnapped by Catelyn Stark. Gets imprisoned by her even more psychotic sister.
Lysa Arryn, man. Or Lysa Arryn. It doesn't matter. I think.
Yeah.
Lysa Arryn. Well, yeah, so Stewie, what do you think about Lysa Arryn still breastfeeding her little son Robin?
I think she's probably the third worst person in this
1
book.
and 2.
Third. 1 and 2. I think you can guess who 1 and 2 is, man.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of bad people here, Stewie. I'm gonna need some help here.
I'd say personally, I think it's the Queen, and I think I'm gonna say Bailey.
Okay.
I think.
Queen Cersei's pretty bad, so I think that's. I don't got a lot to say about Cersei other than she's sort of evil.
I don't think there's no sort of about it. I think she's just evil.
She's definitely a little evil. We'll talk more about Cersei when we talk about Ned. But
yeah.
Tyrion, does he? Remind me, Stewie. Does he talk about his wife in this book?
Yeah, he talks to Bronn about it.
Does he tell Bronn about what his dad?
Yep, the whole story. The whole story. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, man. That's if for some reason, again, if you're here and you don't know what happens, I will describe this, even though this is bad. Basically, Tyrion gets married to someone that him and Jaime come across a young peasant woman who's being attacked by bandits, and so Jaime scares the bandits off. Tyrion kind of comforts this peasant woman. They end up having sex. They end up getting married. They're married for a week, I think he says, and he buys a house, and they're living in the countryside somewhat. And then immediately, Tywin Lannister, his father, sends all his guards, kidnaps Tyrion and his wife, and then first he tells Tyrion that his wife was actually a whore the whole time, and they hired her to do this.
Yeah, Jaime.
Jaime started it. Yeah, it's the whole thing. And then Tywin makes Tyrion watch as he has all of the House Lannister guards rape his wife in front of him, I should say, and then give her a coin for it. And then he makes Tyrion do it at the end, which is...
He also makes Tyrion pay her.
Right. So that's Tyrion's baggage. Also, his sister hates him, and his dad hates him, and Jaime's the only person who actually puts up with him. It's really the best way to put that relationship. It's
Crazy
Tyrion,
work.
He killed his mom. I mean, he didn't really kill his mom, but he'll say he killed his mom. He'll be like, "Oh, I killed my mom because she died in childbirth," which is just like,
Yeah.
oof, man. It's a bad life for Tyrion Lannister, and then he gets kidnapped, and like you said, Siri, he gets put in a prison by Lysa Arryn, and it's a pretty bad. It's just a it's
Yeah,
one,
it's like a hole carved into a mountain, right?
Yeah.
It's he basically gets one wall, and then the rest of it is just sheer cliff face that he's supposed to jump off and kill himself, with. But
And the
eventually,
jailer comes in and beats him, and
the jailer just beats him for fun. But eventually he has a trial by combat. Okay, one of the goated moments from this book where you meet
I loved it.
Bronn. Dude, shout out Bronn. All right, you're gonna
What
learn
a
to
guy.
love Bronn, Stewie.
What a
Okay,
guy.
Bronn, that's one of the goats right there. Yeah, and then they fight Lysa Arryn's like #1 guard or whatever, and Robin's like, I make him fly.
Make him fly, Bobby, make him fly.
Yeah,
Fucking psychos
with the
tweaking on
moon
his
door.
throne.
Yeah, shout out Bronn for crushing that guy with a statue. We love to see it. After that, Tyrion sort of disconnects from the Catelyn plot, and he ends up getting sent into war by his father.
Yeah, immediately gets drafted into war.
Also, he notes that he was sent on like the left flank or whatever flank he is sent on.
They put him on the vanguard.
Yeah, it is a division designed to get him murdered. So like that's fun. But in this moment, I'll say,
mountain, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Arguably even worse.
I will say, Stewie, how do you feel about? Also, Tyrion recruits the mountain clan.
Yeah, the mountain folk.
The mountain folk, which I think is great.
It was so good. I love that little story.
Tyrion obviously is the charisma dump character in this entire franchise. Okay, he has the most charisma. He talks his way out of every situation. But how do you feel about Tywin, Stewie? Okay, as an introduction, 'cause I feel like they really build up to it.
Yeah, I think he's arguably the other like most evil character in the book, aside from Baelish and
Easily.
Yeah.
Tywin's an evil bastard.
I'm gonna hate him more as the series progresses.
It doesn't.
But yeah.
It doesn't get any better. I do think Tywin has like the coolest build up in this book though, because you spend like 500 pages just hearing about the shit he does, and then he shows up and he's just so evil and so well.
He just pulls up to King's Landing and fucks shit up.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, we're at war with the river people. Cool, I'll kill a bunch of river people, no problem. And that's it. That's all Tywin does in this book, and you're just like, oof. And then at the end, he sends Tyrion. I believe it's the end of this book, where he sends Tyrion to King's Landing.
Yeah, he sends Tyrion away because doesn't need him anymore.
No, yeah. Well, then he says to Tyrion that he wants Tyrion to be hand to the king, while Tywin is dealing with all the war shit, which obviously sets up the Tyrion plot for the next book, which we cannot speak about, maybe in a couple months, obviously. But that's Tyrion in this book. Obviously, we meet Bronn. There's a couple other sites. Does he meet Stewie? Have you met Shay? I think that happens.
Yeah, Shay happens at the end.
Oh, Shay starts in book 1?
Yeah, because they meet at the war camps. And I also think he technically meets Podrick. I think he also gets
Podrick fucking Payne,
okay?
bro.
I love that Stewie has no knowledge who any of these characters are outside of what he's read, and so occasionally he just hears me and Nolan be like, "Let's go, dude!" Like Podrick Payne. Podrick's one of the goats, Stewie. All right, we like Podrick here.
We love him. He's at Podrick fucking Payne.
I don't know.
Have a seat.
I don't know that Tyrion does anything else crazy in this book. So where do we think Tyrion ranks? 'Cause personally, I'm like, that's an A or an S right there. I think he's such a fun.
He's an S for me. He's my favorite fucking character.
Yeah.
So,
Stewie, how do you feel? Where do you think Tyrion ranks?
I think S is fair. He's a very entertaining character. I think he's I was gonna say arguably. No, he is the best of the Lannisters, I think.
Yes, he's the one good person among the the Lannister brood, except maybe Kevin. You don't get a lot of Kevin is like kind of a chill guy.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't give a
mentioned,
fuck
and then
about
he
Kevin.
appears at the end briefly.
Kevin, yeah, you get a lot of Kevin later, but he mostly sticks with Tywin. That's really what Kevin does, and Tyrion talks about it. The dynamic between Kevin and you get all the Lannister shit. Okay, there's so many fucking Lannister members. There's Lancel, like there's all the cousins. They don't matter. I mean, they do matter, but not right now. Next, we've got Catelyn Stark. Shout out. Okay, as a kid, I want to apologize for child me. I hated Catelyn Stark as a kid. I don't know why, but as an adult, this character is awesome. As far as I'm concerned,
Oh, yeah.
I love the Catelyn stuff. Is kidnapping Tyrion smart? No. But I get it.
No, that was a massive fumble.
No, it's really
No,
it starts a war. It's bad. But hey,
given the evidence she had at the time,
yeah, I was about to
Yes.
say Baelish kind of
Peter, man.
manipulated that entire thing. Yeah,
Peter. Yeah, this is. I mean, we could talk about him because Stu, you've mentioned him. Littlefinger is connected to Catelyn
bitch.
via their backstory, and then,
I remember.
you know, obviously he's at King's Landing as the master of coin, but every moment of his life is lived in regret for not getting married to Catelyn Stark. And you can tell when he starts hitting on her daughter, which is, ugh, no one likes that.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's
he's,
Littlefinger fans, man.
There
he's
shouldn't
that'd
be.
crazy.
I mean, I'm sure there are
That'd be
people who. I
crazy.
mean, he's a well-written character, but I mean, I'm specifically saying, I wonder if there's people who like defend his actions. I'm interested to see. Get in the comments.
Yeah, I'd like to check their. Yeah, if you like them, say something in the comments with your IP so I can find you and check your fucking hard drive. Okay,
Yeah,
I need to
dude.
check your hard drive.
It's Littlefinger's a little weird. The rest of Catelyn's family, though, I really like. I don't really think they're in this book. Well, the Blackfish is in this book because he's at the. He's
yeah, I
at
was
the.
about to say her uncle's
Blackfish
in
is
it.
It's a
Her
guy.
father's in it.
Okay, and then Edmure, her brother, I guess is. I mean, he's
Yeah,
also
Edmure, yeah.
probably. Shout out! I
Shoot.
really like, Brynden Tully, the Blackfish. I think he's goated, and I like
No, he's
Edmure as
pretty
well.
cool. Yeah,
Edmure's a chill guy.
He's fine.
He's cool.
He's kind of a meathead to me. I'm not a big
He's not
fan.
like smart, but like he's cool. But no, Blackfish, that's one of the goats. But other than that, Catelyn, she sort of serves as at like the beginning of the book, kind of the opposite of Ned. She hates Jon. That's pretty big. That's pretty important to her character. Rightfully so. I don't blame her for despising Jon Snow. I just think it's funny how much she despises Jon Snow.
grown woman
Would you
beef with her
hate a bastard
15-year-old.
child?
I mean,
Uh-oh.
I mean, it depends on the context. I'd say.
given her,
In-
It ain't
if
the
it's-
kid's fault, bruh.
no, it's not.
Okay, no. Okay, no. Hear me out. Now, hear me out. If it's a situation like a John, then no. But if it's something like say Theon was a bastard, okay?
Okay,
It's like
bro.
the most
Bro said,
dislikable
listen.
child in the book was a bastard.
Come on, man. No, I don't know. I'm not saying she's like fully justified. Like she is a complete dick to him, but I do understand why.
It's also Ned's a lot. I think Ned.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the Ned and the Jon
Yeah, we could
stuff.
talk about
But
that.
I think there's obviously it stems from some insecurity, because Catelyn doesn't know anything about this woman, and Ned doesn't fucking talk about it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he just showed up with a baby, who he treats just as well as his actual children, or his trueborn children, I mean to say. And so it's Catelyn's she's got some insecurities there. That being said, that one scene where she tries to deny Jon from saying goodbye to Bran, kind of fucked up, actually.
That was
Okay?
pretty evil.
That
was
one's
pretty
really
evil.
fucked up. I remember Stewie, I think we joked about this, and Nolan, I think we've joked about this as well. But every Catelyn POV, when Jon gets brought up, it's like super chill, and she's like super political savvy, and she knows how to talk her way out of a situation. And then the moment any bastard is brought up, her thoughts go, "Fucking hate that Jon Snow." It's just immediately.
Poor girl up in Erie is like, "Hey, I can guide you up here without you, like, falling to your death."
Uh-huh.
And she asked her name. She's like, "Oh yeah, my name's Maya Stone." Immediately.
Child like
Please.
Jon Snow.
Disgusting.
Which is, I mean, it does suck to get forced into a marriage. Your husband gets brutally murdered, and then you have to marry his younger brother, and immediately he cheats on you. Not a great look.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty bad.
That being said, confirmed, if you pay attention hard enough, Brandon Stark also slept around a lot. So she was going to get cheated on either
that.
way.
Yes, he did.
Shout
I
out
learn
Brandon,
more and more about that every second I read.
Shout out Brandon Stark for getting himself murdered.
I mean, he beat the shit out of Peter Baelish once.
Shout out. He's goaded for that. All of his crimes are forgiven. He does almost kill him, except Catelyn's like, please, just let him live. He's kind of stupid.
I think Peter's the one that mentions that, or someone does around.
Yeah, well, Peter also walks around King's Landing saying he fucked Catelyn and Lysa. So, or took their virginity, I should say. He claimed, or their maidenhood, is the Game of Thrones.
Are any of those true? Who knows?
That's crazy.
100% not the truth. Bro did not touch Catelyn Stark. Okay, bro is fully walking around King's Landing, fuming. I don't know what he's thinking, by the way. No one cares about the fingers. All right, most little pathetic little Westerosi kingdom. Okay, dog.
And he's the littlest one, too.
Yeah, you're not marrying a Tully, buddy. Okay. Either way, what else does Catelyn do in this book? She helps stop an assassin.
Bran.
Well, yeah, she mourns Bran a lot, prevents the assassin from killing him by just grabbing his Valyrian steel dagger. Shout out. And then Bran.
She should not have fingers. She
very nearly took her fingers off. But then Bran names his direwolf by the end of this book, right, Stewie? I'm not.
Yes. Right.
So then Summer comes and mauls that man to death. Shout out Summer, goated. And then she leaves immediately.
Because she has to figure out who sent the assassin.
Yeah, I know, it's valid. But she goes to King's Landing. She has a nice moment with Ned, and Littlefinger's there. And then that's when she kidnaps Tyrion, takes her to her sister, and immediately realizes that her sister is gone insane.
Crazy.
Gone completely insane. Also, you should mention, her sister, Lysa, sent Catelyn a letter in a secret hidden language they had as children that basically implied / said the Lannisters poisoned Jon Arryn and murdered him. So that's awesome. That's pretty neat. Started off the book pretty bad with these Lannister people. But then she kidnaps, we mentioned that. After that, she leaves because it's just fucking crazy. And she joins up with Robb because it's time for war. I think that's really the last thing Catelyn sort of does in this book.
Yeah, I mean, she mostly just follows Robb around, make sure he doesn't do anything fucking stupid, and sell the war.
But Robb's pretty smart. Okay.
Yes.
Robb's a pretty smart guy. He wins the Battle of the Whispering Woods, kidnaps Jaime Lannister, or takes him prisoner, I should say, which is pretty massive. That's a massive thing. Also, no Robb POVs, which is
no. It's a little weird. I honestly thought I was gonna get one.
Well, you never will. There are no Robb POVs.
That's crazy. That's honestly crazy.
Martin, I guess I can say this now because it's book 2 important. Obviously, book 2 is called Clash of Kings because it is about slight spoilers, the War of the Five Kings, because there's fucking 5 of them, and there are no POVs from any of the kings. It's all Catelyn and other people around the kings. So, which I actually like that choice. I think that's really fun. So there's no Joffrey, there's no Stannis, there's no Robb POVs.
At least I won't have to read Joffrey's POV.
Oh, dude, I'd quit. I'd quit the book if I had to read a Joffrey POV. No, you just get Tyrion and Sansa is how you interact with Joffrey, and then how you interact with Robb is mostly Catelyn. which I think is really fun because I think it's a fun little thing to see Catelyn actually realize that even though she like wants to protect her son, she has that maternal instinct that Rob's kind of fucking based, and she like doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, she keeps comparing him to Ned a lot, and I'm starting to understand why.
Yeah,
He is kind of.
does he grow a beard at the end of this one? Does he have the beard yet, or?
Yeah, mentions it. I think it was described as more like a stubble kind of.
Yeah, it's
or
like a
something
stubble. I just
akin
think
to
it's
that.
15-year-old rocks up to the battlefield, immediately has a beard.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
I mean,
I'm ready. I'm ready to go to war, mom.
You'll have that. You'll have
You
that.
will. I mean, he's king of the north, king of the north. You know, Rob's cool. I like Rob a lot, and he's got a direwolf, like the rest of them.
He does.
Except Sansa. Sansa
Yeah.
does not have a direwolf. That one's dead. Rip. Rip lady. These kids are bad at naming these dogs, by the way. Can we talk about that real fast? I do not like
Doesn't
these
Arya
names.
name hers after like a foreign queen or something? Right?
Yes, Arya names hers Nymeria, which is a Dornish queen who's like a super fan. Yeah, she will be mentioned a million more times throughout the books. Sansa's is named Lady because like a pristine princess lady. Rip. Rob's,
Shaggy Dog.
Well, Rickons is Shaggy Dog because that's a 3-year-old, so I'll give him a pass.
Shaggy Dog.
Bran I like. Summer is fun because he's a sweet summer child, and summer is gone and winter's coming, so it's fun. It's fun to name your direwolf Summer. I like that. Jon Snow, Ghost.
Ghost.
No names. No notes. I mean to say that's a perfect name. Okay, for an albino direwolf, I'm like that. That's peak right there. And then what is Rob's? It's Grey Wind, I think, right?
Yeah, Grey Wind.
Yeah, Grey Wind's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's alright.
Because he moves like the wind. Yeah, it's service and he's gray. It's an okay little thing. But where do we rank Catelyn here, gentlemen?
Hey, I like her a
Yeah,
lot.
I think she's a solid area.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I did dislike her POV at the start, but I grew to enjoy it. When the actual plot started moving, she wasn't just seething about Jon.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Nolan can attest. I was texting him all the time. I really love her book 2 and 3 stuff. That shit, I was eating that up. I was like, oh my god, this stuff is so cool. Mainly because I really like the Tullys. They kind of became one of my favorite houses. I really like the Blackfish, and I like it.
I mean, they're pretty cool, except for the unmentionable. We won't mention her.
We don't talk about. She's not real. She's an Aaron now. Okay, she got married to an old man.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I feel bad for her. I don't love that she got married to like a 50-year-old guy. I think that it sucks to be her. But hey, for all intents and purposes, Jon Arryn was a really nice dude.
Yeah, I mean, at least it could have been worse.
Who was murdered.
Murdered for discovering an incest plot. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I guess the next we'll go to Jon Snow here, but we'll save the main character for last. We'll talk about Jon Snow, who, as we have mentioned, is the bastard. So he sort of starts. He gives us a little bit of a different POV at Winterfell. More of a common man POV, because no one wants him around, and by no one I mean Catelyn Stark. And Sansa. Sansa doesn't really like Jon either. She loves him. She's kind of like her mother. Everyone else loves Jon Snow, okay? Arya loves Jon Snow. Bran loves Jon Snow. Rickon loves Jon Snow. And Rob loves Jon Snow. Theon, not so much, but he's he's over there. Hey, listen. Theon is a bad person. He's not...
Bad vibes.
He does give off bad vibes. But Jon makes the worst decision he could possibly make and decides he's going to go join the Night's Watch with his uncle. With his uncle Benjen.
Dude, when they're talking about it, and Benjen is like, "No, you don't go there." Benjen's immediately like, "No."
Yeah, and Jon's like, "Oh, I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I want to go."
I'm nearly a man grown.
I'm nearly a man grown, Benjen. And Benjen's like, "All right, man. I'll take you, but I'm not babying you on the way there."
Catelyn Fortnite dancing in the background, hearing this shit.
Sounds like he's leaving. Yay! But yeah, John goes to the Night's Watch, which shout out the Night's Watch for being what used to be a great organization and has fallen on hard times recently. They're the Watchers on the Wall. Okay, what is it? The Watchers on the Wall and like the swords. It's like the swords in the night. Is that what it is? I think they don't know. They have a long oath.
Yeah, they did.
But they
I don't
defend
remember
the
the last.
wall, which is on the other side of the wall, wildlings or free folk, if you want to call them that. People who don't kneel to the king, and then also zombies.
Yeah.
No one remembers the zombie thing though, but we as the audience know it because we read the prologue. And so most of this first book is really just him not having any friends because no one likes him and realizing he made a mistake. That's really all that happens in this first book is he's just like, dude, this place fucking stinks, man. And then he takes his oath with his homie Samwell Tarly. Shout out. That's one of the goats right there. I love myself some Samwell Tarly. Stewie, how do you feel about Sam and Gren? And
Sam.
there's a ton of it. It's like Gren
Yeah,
and Pip.
Can't really remember the others' names.
Pip.
But I do remember Sam, obviously. Sam is pretty cool. Poor fucker.
Sam's backstory is pretty bad. It's not.
His backstory is bad, and his current situation is bad. I would say arguably worse.
Yeah, he's got it worse than John. At least John is like prepared for the Night's Watch. Sam shows up, and he's like, "My father said be here."
Sam shows up because his only other option was death.
Yeah, and his father
Yeah.
would have went through with it. So this is what a man gets. And then eventually, well, I guess it's important to note that John's uncle Benjamin goes missing almost immediately. He's
Instantly after he leaves, he goes on a range and never appears.
doesn't come back. And then they bring some guys back. They bring the guys that were with Benjamin back. And then they come back as zombies. And John has to kill one of them to save the old bear, Mr. Mormont.
Yep.
Who has the fun raven, as you mentioned earlier, that likes to speak.
Corn.
Yeah, very interesting.
Dead.
Interesting
Snow.
creature. But John perpetually fucking fucks his hand up because he grabs a flaming curtain and like stuffs it down the zombie's mouth or whatever. And yeah, that's the John plot. You know, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound like a lot's going on. But I love this plot, okay? Because I love John's stuff.
It is important. It is very important, I think, because the zombies.
You're right.
They're coming.
The winter is coming, and that includes zombie people.
How much Beric Dondarrion is in the first book?
All Beric does in the first book is he's at the tournament with that Sansa watches over because he's with why can't I remember his name? The red priest who lights his sword on fire. And then Ned Thorin. Yes, Thorin. I think. I don't know. And then Ned sends Beric to go hunt the mountain, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Fucking mountain, man. Oh.
I don't have much more to say about Mr. Jon Snow's plot, other than I think it's an A or an S, just because I really like Jon.
He kills a zombie, he gets a cool Valerian sword.
He does get a Valerian. He gets Long Claw.
Yes, Long Claw. Meant to be Jorah Mormont.
Meant to go to Jorah Mormont. Yeah. Jorah Mormont is a criminal, so that doesn't happen.
We all have that.
Yeah, Jorah Mormont smuggled
in
people.
Exile.
Yeah, I was about to say a slaver.
Yeah, not a good guy. But yeah, what do we think about Jon on the tier list here?
I think it's A for me.
I mean, I was gonna say a solid B. Like you said, there it is important what happens, but he is kind of disconnected from literally everything that happens. But almost as disconnected as Daenerys, but they still get like stuff from King's Landing.
Yeah, they get the messages. Yeah. I'll put him in B because Stewie, this is your first time, so that leaves us That leaves us with one more, gentlemen. That leaves us with Eddard Stark himself, okay? The GOAT. As far as I'm concerned, the best POV in the book.
No, yes.
All of everything happens here. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the most important place to start. He's made the Hand of the King immediately, I guess. By
Yeah.
Robert Baratheon.
Robert.
Robert Baratheon. And then immediately his life goes downhill. That's just how it goes. He's made the Hand of the King. His life goes downhill. He goes to King's Landing, and his head goes downhill. So that's really the Ned trajectory here. Nolan is there'll be photos on screen, but Nolan just posted in our little channel here the Robert we didn't get, and it was a photo of, or it's a little art photo, I guess. It's a.
Was that the Battle of the Trident?
Yeah,
That's
it's
so famous.
Yes.
the Battle of the Trident. Well, that's something I want to talk about with Ned, because I think we get it the most with Ned. Ned and Catelyn, I guess. But Ned and Catelyn are the oldest POV characters, and they give us the most background lore in their inner monologues as well as their conversations. They're sort of unks reminiscing on the good old days, if you will. So what do we think of this? I guess mainly Stewie, but what do you think of the background lore here, Stewie, with the Robert's Rebellion and the Mad King and the Battle of the Trident and the Tower of Mourning? That's the thing Ned does in particular that is loosely thought about by Ned.
Yeah. I guess I don't really blame Robert and Ned for going to war. Ned definitely had better cause. His fucking dad and brother got murdered in the worst way imaginable.
Yeah. Can we talk about that real quick, by the way? If I have this correct, he okay, the Mad King. I'm trying to think of what starts it. Oh, this is right. Okay. Rhaegar Targaryen, the Mad King's heir, kidnaps Lyanna Stark and takes her away for a whole year. And then Brandon Stark goes to King's Landing to sort of demand of the Mad King.
His bannermen, I think.
Yeah, he brings his bannermen who do not make it back, unfortunately, and like his best friends, I guess. But so he goes to King's Landing to demand of Aerys that Aerys sort of bring out Rhaegar so they can kind of have a duel, for the honor of his sister. And immediately Aerys throws them in jail, summons Ned's father, who I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head. I think it's Rickard. I think it's Richard, maybe?
I think you're right.
Because I know Bran and then Rickon are named after Ned's dead family members. So either way, I think it's Rickard, and then obviously Brandon Stark is the older brother. So when Rickard shows up, he demands I think Brandon demands a trial by combat to sort of get them out of this situation. And Aerys is like, that's fine, but you'll have to fight fire because I am a dragon. And so he puts him in a whole suit of armor above a flaming pit of fire and then ties his father up and is like, all right, if you could just crawl to him, you could free him. I might have the roles reversed here, but either way, one of them is being cooked alive, and then the other one
I think you have it right.
Yeah, and the other one has to crawl to him, and while he is crawling, a rope is tied around his neck that is slowly choking him out, which is just, based solely on that, I think you can understand why Jaime was like, I gotta put this guy down, okay? You can understand.
Possibly the only good thing Jaime has done in his entire life.
Also, it should be noted.
That remains to be seen for me, at least.
It should be noted that then the Mad King, because the Starks are traitors, demanded Ned and Robert's head because both of them were
and that's when.
And
that's Jon Arryn.
Yeah, Jon Arryn.
The king.
Jon Arryn is sort of warding both Ned and Robert, which is how they become friends and how they learn to like Jon Arryn. And so then Jon's like, I'm not going to give you these 16-year-old boys. And then the rebellion happens. Which is, I love it. All of this is to say, I love this background lore. Okay, I eat this shit
great.
up every time they talk about it, and it's all Robert talks about. Make no mistake. Robert Baratheon does not talk about anything else except beer and women. Those are the three
Whoring.
things. Yeah, whoring, drinking, and reminiscing is all Robert talks about.
King Chud Baratheon.
Chud? Oh no. That's bad, man. Robert mainly mentions Lyanna because he was betrothed to Lyanna Stark.
Yeah.
And how he misses her. He wish he could have married Lyanna Stark. Oh, life would have been so much better if he wasn't married to Cersei Lannister. I mean, which is technically true.
He's not wrong about the second part.
No, he isn't wrong about
Facts.
that.
Rather marry a brick fucking wall.
Yeah. And then there's there's further stuff. So I mean, obviously, there's a ton of stuff that'll be filled in as the books continue. More lore becomes available about sort of Robert's rebellion. There's also Baelin's rebellion, the Greyjoy rebellion, which happens I think 5 years after.
Balon.
They mention it as well. They burned the Lannister fleet.
Yeah, they burn the Lannister fleet, and then they beat the shit out of the Greyjoys and kidnap his youngest and only surviving son, and are like, "All right, you better stay in line, old man." And that's all the Greyjoys are doing. Also, Stannis. There's a very important part of Stannis' character is that he spent the entirety of Robert's Rebellion inside. I believe it's inside Dragonstone, right, Nolan? He takes Dragonstone and then just doesn't fucking leave it because he's being sieged by everybody, and he holds there for like 2 years with no food or nothing, which will become very important later. But the only other flashback thing I think that's important is after the Battle of the Trident, where Robert smashes Rhaegar's chest in with his warhammer. It's like Ned and then a couple of his homeboys, and they go to the Tower of Mourning, which is where Lyanna Stark is, and they find Sir Arthur Dayne, the what the fuck is his name?
Sword in the Morning.
Sword of the Morning, yes, thank you. Who is a member of the Kingsguard, and he is currently watching over the tower. And only 2 of those people that Ned went with make it back. They all almost get killed by a single man. And then Ned, all we know is that Ned kills Sir Arthur Dayne, who is one of the best swordsmen in the land at the time. So that's kind of crazy. Ned's a little stacked. And then his sister dies in that tower and says and makes him promise something, but we do not know.
Art of that.
We do not know what. Stewie, in a second, I will ask you your theories on that. And the only other thing we kind of learned about that is Ned maybe had a thing for Arthur Dayne's sister, who kills herself after Ned kills her brother.
I think her name was Asara.
Asara, yeah, or Ashara, I think. And some people say Ashara is Jon's mom. And then some other people say, like it's like a peasant woman he fell in love with during the war. It's unconfirmed. It's all we could say about that. But so Stewie, what do you think's going down at the Tower of Mourning? What do you think Lyanna is making Ned prom? What do you think that is?
I mean, I can't say, but I do think it's a little suspicious that she died in that tower. Yeah, so I think she would have gotten wounded in the battle, and Ned obviously isn't going to hurt his sister, so
that's true.
There's something going on there.
There's stuff, there's stuff going on. We also do learn technically before all of this. You learn about the tourney at Harrenhal, where Rhaegar gives. Yeah,
Rhaegar.
He gives Lyanna the flower instead of his Dornish wife.
We had kids with too, by the way, which is crazy.
Rip both his wife and those children. Thank you, the Mountain. Everybody, let's get a good clap for the Mountain for murdering babies. Everybody, okay?
Nope.
The Mountain when he sees a 7-month-old baby, like, Let me bash its skull on the wall. That's normal, dude. That's a normal thought to have.
Dash his
that's-
skull over.
The driver
Also-
was shells.
also, not to get super graphic here, but let me murder this baby and then rape his mom. Let me just do that real quick, man. Like, okay, dude. And then drag their corpse to King's Landing and throw it at the feet of Robert Baratheon. Also, if you really want to get to the, the nitty gritty of everything the Mountain likes to do, then burn his brother's face off and potentially murder his father.
Yeah.
Hunting accident, unconfirmed, allegedly, if you will. Which is why later Ned sends Beric Dondarrion and a bunch of his men after the Mountain because, oh boy.
There was a fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Finish what you're saying.
I was going to say the Mountain is also pillaging the Riverlands, which is why Ned sends those people after. The Mountain is just immediately sacking villages and burning them to the ground. Because of course he is. Ed, what you were saying, Nolan?
So, I'm over here looking up art about everything we're talking about, spamming the chat. There's
course.
fucking... I forgot that in Game of Thrones, there was a flashback with Sir Arthur Dayne
Yeah, they do
versus
show
young...
that.
Yeah.
Versus,
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. This is kind of crazy.
Bro is watching a YouTube video
This guy.
during our
This guy.
podcast. Okay.
Well, it's content. It's for the content, bro.
Okay. Either way, there is a
Jamie,
flashback.
you pull up the Arthur Dayne flashback on YouTube.
Hey, Jamie.
Three-eyed raven. Chat.
Can we get that on?
Yeah. Dude. The old gods, the seven, the mother, the crone, please pull up the flashback. It'll be on screen.
I also wanna note Sir Arthur Dayne dual wields longswords. That shit is
he's
nuts.
pretty goated. Sir Arthur Dayne is considered, as far if I can remember correctly, the best Westeros fighters are Sir Arthur Dayne, Barristan Selmy,
Barristan the Bold.
Barristan the Bold. Jamie when he's older, and then I think those are like the top. So then there's some others like John Connington. It doesn't matter until later.
Isn't the Hound pretty good? Wasn't that like a big thing?
The who?
The Hound.
Yes, the Hound is considered. Obviously, the Hound was a kid during Robert's Rebellion, but he is considered. Him and the Mountain are
Pretty
considered
damn good.
Yeah, the Hound is just skilled, and then the Mountain is 7 feet tall
Yeah, 7
and
feet tall,
800
weighs like
pounds or
400
whatever.
pounds.
He looks like absolute Batman. Is what the Mountain looks like. If you're,
Not compare him to Batman, please.
he's moving like him. Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne would never. Bruce Wayne would never do the types of things
No.
the Mountain's doing. But the Mountain's a crazy guy.
Mountain does some very brutal things later.
The Mountain is
Like,
a bad man. The Mountain is a bad man. What else does Ned do, guys? Let's go back to the Ned POV. Let's have some fun. He's the king.
I mean, we're talking about the backstory stuff. Yeah, he meets
Yeah.
the king.
Oh yeah, Stewie, how do you feel about all this backstory? Is this backstory interesting to you? Is it too much?
I think it's interesting. I do wish they talked about it a little bit more instead of
he's a little closed
freaking
off.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to know the promise me. We would like more of that. That would be interesting. You know
Yeah,
how it
something's
is.
going on there.
Stuff
I
is
think,
happening.
I don't know.
Stuff's happening. That's all we can say is stuff going down. Stuff's going down. But yeah, Ned. There's also all the other keeping on the backstory, I guess, real quick. There's all the just insane shit about the Targaryen dynasty because there's a million of them.
Yeah.
None of that stuff matters that much in this book, unless you're Daenerys Targaryen, who's like, I love my family.
No, my family didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, she'll keep thinking that.
I bet you will, because her only source of information was her
Viserys,
fucking
dude.
insane brother.
Yeah,
He was like,
no.
no, the family did
Viserys is like,
nothing wrong.
the usurper took our throne. Speaking of them, I guess Robert does send assassins after these children, which I think is a little crazy. I think he should.
Yeah, he
call-
does do
Crazy.
that.
Yeah,
He does do that. And Ned quits being the hand.
on the spot,
On the
dude.
spot.
Like day one, bro.
Ned is the GOAT, guys. He is the GOAT, okay? Except Honor
No, that
doesn't
scene
play
is
in Westeros. That's useless shit here. Okay.
No.
it seems grueling to read because the entire time they're like discussing like small council, just discussing it like it's like fucking
Normal.
groceries or something.
Yeah, they're like,
and
oh, we're
Ned's
gonna.
just saying they're like, what the fuck are you people talking about?
Yeah. Other members of the small council. I guess we could talk about them because they're important to the Ned plot and will be important in later books. So Barristan the Bold, goaded, the leader of the
Yeah.
Kingsguard.
Yeah,
Obviously, he's fired by the end of the
the
book.
only other sensible person in that room.
Yeah, he's a very normal man. He is honorable to a T. Like, no, whoever the king is, he will at least most of the time 100% work with him until he gets fired, and then he
Yeah,
says
that
some
fucking dude.
dude.
Says his mind.
I that scene is ingrained in my brain when he takes his cloak off and throws the fucking sword down. He goes, "Here, boy, melt it down with the others." I'm like, "Yo, dude, goated shit." Okay. Other than that, we've got Littlefinger, Master of Coin, previously mentioned. Thank you.
Worst master of coin known to man.
Well, yeah,
bro.
because he shits money, much like Tywin Lannister, and then never pays it back. They're
Yeah,
like,
doesn't he just take out loans?
yeah,
Doesn't he
yeah.
just
the I think when Ned shows up, because when Ned goes to King's Landing, Robert throws a tourney, like the hands tourney, in his name, and I think Littlefinger mentions that they're like of like millions of crowns in debt or some absurd number, and Ned is like, how? And then Littlefinger's like, oh, Robert just doesn't pay his debts. Like, they owe so much money to like the different banks across the realm,
Iron Bank.
the Iron Bank, and all this stuff. Then just no one pays their money back, or by no one I mean Robert. Obviously, then we have Varys, the Master of Whispers, the eunuch.
yeah.
The scheming eunuch, if you will. I really like Varys. I think Varys is a cool guy. But he's
I
got
wouldn't say
schemes.
cool, but I
Well,
like
sure.
him more than Littlefinger.
Yes.
I think he's more honest than Littlefinger.
He is.
Which is a crazy thing to say.
He does what he does for the realm.
That's what I was gonna say. Is Varys has that scene with Ned at the end, which I really like, where Ned is like, "Why? Like, what do you do?" And Varys is like, "I really just want the realm to be better." Like, he's like, "I really don't care about all these politics and the interpersonal bullshit. Like, I just want normal shit." And Ned's like, "All right, man, that actually makes a lot of sense." And then everyone likes to make fun of him for not having a cock, which I just think like that's just not
Yeah, I
fair.
mean, you'll have that.
It's just not fair to
You'll have
Varys,
that.
man. You know, it's not his fault. He's a scheming eunuch. I don't know. And then we have Grand Maester Pycelle, the
Yeah.
Maester, Grand Maester, doesn't matter.
He's
He's a cunt.
yeah, he's not a great guy. I don't think he's evil. He's just
No,
nasty.
he's just kind of bad at his job.
He's a bitch.
And he's a little he's something. But that is. Oh, and then Renly's there. Renly is technically a member
fuck Renly.
of the council, but yeah, Renly does not do anything in this first book, as we mentioned earlier. He really just exists to, like.
But he left. He just
He
dipped.
does leave. Everyone likes to talk about Renly because he's like a fucking fashionista, dude. He knows everything about fashion. That's like the most you learn about Renly, is that he knows how to drip his people out. And fair enough, you know. But that's the King's Landing Council. Truly, maybe the worst shit.
Let me
in
post
history.
a picture of what this motherfucker looks like.
Maybe the worst King's Landing Council in history. Maybe that's not true. I'm sure there's some worse ones if you go back through the histories, but it's pretty bad.
I mean, the further you go back, I imagine it gets slightly better because
yeah,
when your choice of failure is getting fucking obliterated by a dragon,
no, that's pretty important.
makes you want to do better at your job.
It is, but yeah, no, for sure. The dragons are kind of, it makes things a lot easier.
He's
but,
fucking green.
Yeah, that's Renly. A photo on screen. Shout out the antlers.
Let me
dude.
show you his. Let me show you what his personal guard look like, bro.
Fucking love the antlers, dude. The things he made a lot worse at King's Landing when Robert gets murdered. By murdered, I mean he gets skewered by a boar. because he was
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is a tabletop game, but here's some art
a
of what his rainbow
tabletop
guard.
game.
This is his rainbow guard and him in the middle.
I didn't
Now
know
I
there was
see.
a fucking tabletop game.
Yes,
Interesting.
dude. There's like several Song of Ice and Fire tabletop games, and they have like a bunch of
We're
expansions with them.
getting off topic. Okay, Robert gets
Yeah.
murdered by an animal because he's very drunk,
He does.
and then he tells Ned, I don't know, him and Ned.
Probably shouldn't have been hunting with a warhammer either. But,
No, he's an idiot.
Yeah, maybe,
He's
you
a
know.
fucking idiot.
And say, let me take him.
Let me
While he's
take him, I can
blackout
take
drunk.
him,
Let
I
me
can
take
take
him.
him, I can
Let me
take
do
him.
it. Let me.
Unsheaths his
Gourd.
His armor doesn't fit him anymore. He can't fight in the tourneys. He's too fucking fat. All he does is drink and whore. He's got 1 million bastards around the city. Most of them are dead now. Shout out Cersei Lannister, I guess. It's not great. Bad things are happening. But yeah, he gets skewered by a boar, and then basically tells Ned on his deathbed, he's like, "Dude, I really sucked. I'm sorry. This is I was really fucking bad at this." And then Ned can't bring himself to tell him about the incest baby, but he's like, "As soon as you die, Robert, in your name, I'll fix your kingdom." And then Ned gets his head cut off.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
We neglected to mention there's a fantastic scene with Ned and Cersei where they meet in like
Yeah,
the
the
wood.
Godswood.
Yeah, the Godswood, and Ned is like, "I know that you fuck your brother." And Cersei's
I know,
Generational
you
fumble on
know
Ned's
that
part,
I know.
honestly.
no, it's a really bad fumble, and I love Ned Stark as a character. It is fully the wrong move, man, because Cersei's like, "I'm gonna kill you." Ned goes, "Listen, Cersei, I'm giving you like a day and a half to get you and your children out of town because I don't want to kill kids. That's not what I do here." And Cersei's like, "I will kill you." And Ned's like, come on, Cersei." And you know what? I mean, she doesn't kill him. Her son kills him. She wants to send him to the wall, which would have been pretty nice, actually. It's a much better fate than getting your head cut off. Fortunately, Joffrey's a piece of shit. So that's really all you can say about Joffrey.
Starts another war with that.
Yeah, he cuts Ned's head off with his own sword, or he has Sir Alan Payne do it with ice.
Yeah.
Cool Valerian steel blade. You start the book with an execution, and end the book with an execution. Well, I guess you end the book with dragons, but the Ned plotline ends with an execution, which is a nice. So it all comes full circle here. Okay, it's like poetry. It rhymes, you know. But where do we put Ned on the tier? I'm thinking an S. Frankly, I think this Ned is the best.
Yeah, I think he deserves an S.
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly fair.
I think
Yeah,
every
sure.
Ned chapter is like every time you flip the book and then you see it's a Ned chapter, you read it. You know, you're like, "Oh, let me get through this peak real quick." But that's a Game of Thrones. I guess I'll say I personally, I think this is a 9 out of 10. Okay, this is a peak fantasy book right here. It's got politics, it's got fighting, it's got dragons, it's got ice zombies, which I didn't know that I needed, but it's pretty cool, and it's got tits. So I think a 9 out of 10. You know, Nolan, what about you? What do you think of a Game of Thrones?
For me, I think it's like a high 8. I'm not gonna give it a 9
Wow.
because not all the characters are really strong to me. Like I think Dany it's all just her getting train ran on her and not a lot. Like it's not. I don't know.
You're
I don't
right,
know.
but you are right. Insane.
Yeah, but I've also read all the other books, so I'm putting that into skewing my
okay.
ranking as well. Well, I guess I haven't read all the other books. I'm almost done with all the other books. Because I think that each one gets better. Like consistently, I've been enjoying them more and more each time I read them. Because I'm so like locked in on this plot. Like I love it.
Christ.
Yeah, Stewie?
No, I'm sorry. I was flipping through the appendix of the book while no one's talking. I got to the Targaryen section.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of names there, man. I'm sure there's only gonna be more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think an eight's fair, Nolan. I think I get that.
I'd also say an 8.
Okay, Stu, you got anything else you want to add as you are the new?
Um, I mean, not anything that we already haven't discussed. I mean, I like Ned, I like John, I like their POVs a lot. Like I said, Catelyn grew on me. I started liking her more towards the end between her POV. Braun and Danny, not great for different reasons. I would rather read a Braun chapter though. Sansa, not
Facts.
too much, and she did get slightly less. I don't know, like fairy tale vision towards the end. So that was bad.
Yeah,
better.
yeah. You mean when she watches her dad get his head cut off? It's pretty.
Yeah, and then sees on a spike covered in tar. Yeah,
That's also pretty fucking bad, man. They really do just tar his head and stick it on a spike.
They tar a lot of
Well, they
heads.
tar a lot of heads, but you got any theories, Stewie, going into book 2 here? You got any ideas? What you think is gonna happen? You know what's gonna go down?
I don't think anyone's gonna win the war. I think they're all gonna kill each other. I don't think anyone's really winning.
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay. I like the idea. Any
I mean,
personal things? You think any characters are gonna die? Any characters are gonna live? You know?
I could see Rob not living. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe Tywin too.
Mm.
I don't see Joffrey dying. Well, and maybe Joffrey could die instead of Tywin, honestly, because they were talking about already replacing him.
Yeah, they're like, we
And I
gotta
don't
get rid of
see
this
Joffrey
kid.
winning any kind of fight ever. So
Dude, little sissy Joffrey, bro. Come on. You can lock it.
Sissy boy.
The Joffrey redemption arc starts in book 2, you know? No,
okay.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, let's not kid with ourselves here.
I couldn't even think about it.
I don't know what Daenerys is gonna do. I mean, maybe she gets more people to follow her. I guess with her dragons. I guess.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, she does have dragons now. No more Khal Drogo though.
I really don't know what John's gonna do. Poor fucker just snuck on.
Freeze, fight zombies, Walking Dead plot.
Carl, you know he's gonna.
Carl, Sam! Sam, you need to lose weight.
You imagine, bro? Nah, John's not fat phobic. He would never. Okay, he would never. Say
He's not. He takes advantage of him being a nerd.
That's important. Yeah. All right.
You can read? Interesting.
Yeah, one of 7 characters who can actually fucking read and write at the wall. Shit, one of 3. I mean, Aemon's blind, bro. Their maester at the wall can't even fucking see, dude. Very bad situation at the wall. This shit sucks. But yeah, I mean, do we got any final thoughts on Game of Thrones here?
I mean, not really.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Nolan.
Thank you. I think we'll end it here. You know, I think this was a solid amount of time we have spent talking about the first book and what will, eventually become the biggest fantasy series of all time next to Lord of the Rings. You know what? I guess that's a question. Off of this first book, Stewie, do you think that's deserved? All right. Do you think it sits there? Obviously, you haven't read it all yet, but do you think it's up there with Lord of the Rings?
I wouldn't say it's up there with Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Any of just any of that genre.
You think
Like in terms of fantasy, I don't really think it's like a big fantasy book. I mean, it's clearly fantasy, but I'm just saying I don't think it's like
it's more real. It's more grim dark, as we made fun of earlier.
I don't want to use that word, but yeah.
Is it all right? If there was a totem pole of fantasy, is Game of Thrones for you so far higher than Harry Potter?
Oh, easily. Okay,
That's all we needed to hear. All right, wrap it up. The episode's over.